Heidi ho, good neighbors. Welcome to the Gritty Bowman podcast. This is your co-host, Aron Snyder, with your primary host, Brian Call, on the other end of the mic. Today, we're going to cover some niche items that we sometimes look over in gear, as well as updates on what's going on with the Gritty Bowman, some of our sponsors, events we're going to be at, things of that nature. I know absolutely nothing about the events we're going to be at because I probably won't be at them. So I'm going to hand that off to Brian Call. Brian, go ahead.
Well done, man. You took a lot of that pressure off of me. It's nice to not do the intro every now and then. You nailed it, man.
One and done. That way I don't have to edit anything.
The deal. Yeah, we got some cool stuff. Aaron's going to talk about some gear. In fact, I just posted a picture of Aaron frying up some meat, getting some meat ready up in the mountain on Instagram, Facebook, and you're wearing those knee pads. So
I get lots of jokes about going for raises. Some other things I can't speak of.
It just reminds me of like
a Gritty Bowman,
a construction background, like you've laid a lot of tile or something. So
military, man, military. That's where I got those from.
Well, we're going to get into that and a couple other niche items. Before we do that, though, like Aaron said, there are some events we wanted people to know about that following the Gritty Bowman. We're not very good at this kind of stuff, so we're getting it out there. And the giveaway. We're doing our gear giveaway, and we have totally slacked on that. So we're collecting all the gear. And in the beginning, we were going to give like one item away like throughout, and that's proving to be something we fail at. So what we're going to do is I'm going to gather all the gear together and give it to a single person just so we're done with this gear giveaway. That way we get it done. Right, Snyder?
Heck yes. I'm getting overloaded with questions about gear right now. Holy panicking.
So yeah, we're gathering the gear from all the sponsors that have been helping out with the podcast and donating us stuff. And so we'll be giving away a bunch of cool stuff very soon. So it's in the mail on the way here. Some of it we've collected, but look for that giveaway. Let's try to get it gone before we go to BC.
Sounds like a plan.
So next couple of weeks, then we got 2 weeks. Try to get the giveaway done. Events. We got a couple of things. There's Total Archery Challenge event, July 15th and 17th. And that one is at Snowbird that's in Utah.
Yep.
And then there's another Total Archery Challenge event, July 29th through the 31st. And I'm going to be at both of those, and I'm going to try to get Aaron to go as well. So those are archery shoots. I've also heard they're pretty awesome. The one in July 29th and 31st is in Big Sky. So that'll be fun. We'll get to hang out with all those guys.
Did you say July 29th?
Yes.
I have that on the calendar going with my main man, Cliff. If you're listening, I haven't forgotten about you, buddy. We're going scouting for elk, so I can't be at that one. I promised Cliff I'd take him.
All right. So,
Cliff, thank you for getting me out of that.
But Snowbird, you've got to come to one of them. You got to go. Sean DeGray is expecting a little Aron Snyder wham sauce and carbon in the air.
Oh, there'll be lots of that. I'm going to bring like 3 dozen arrows. I might start shooting at competitors when I get bored. Never know.
So, also for folks out there, the Full Draw Film Tour, which is showing one of our films this year, that you can go out on their website and check out their schedule, but they do have some shows coming up here soon too, like June 8th in Loveland, Colorado, and June 9th in Denver, Colorado. The show is coming there. And then June 10th, they have the Full Draw Film Tour in Salt Lake, and June 11th in Idaho Falls. So
I'm a definite maybe on the Colorado events.
Yes. I'll be moving down there probably after school gets out sometime around July. The kids get out late June, and then heading down there. So that'll be fun. Aaron and I got some big plans and projects for this fall. You're probably going to see a lot more Aron Snyder video than you've seen before, which should be entertaining. So that's that. Let's see. Some people asked, where can they find Wham Sauce?
Walmart. It's in aisle 5.
That's good. That's good to know. And then some people ask how they can support the podcast, and we're kind of low on hats and t-shirts. I'm getting a lot of emails lately. We're kind of looking at improving how we're going to order hats and t-shirts and keep them in stock. We're not very good at that. So we're working on that. And then if you want to go and download our film, it's $5. It's Full Draw Film Tour film from last year. It's not about the horns. It's a great film. And, that helps us keep the podcast going. So go download it. It's on our website. Anything else, Aron?
No. I'll probably cover what's going on at Kifaru. I get emails telling me I need to talk. I try to stay cognizant about not talking about Kifaru, to be fair, but I'm getting hate mail now. Not hate mail. I'm getting comments from people that say they want to hear about Kifaru, so I'm going to give a Kifaru update.
Yeah.
So we released the Terriol and the 14er, which we had talked about before, kind of an early release. Mm-hmm. Those are doing well. Sales hit about what we expected on those. We're working on a bunch of different fabrics right now, screwing around, Bender and I, playing with different other than Cordura, working on a few other things that I can't talk about or Bender might kill me. Even though I am his boss, he keeps me in line. And Bender, he's kind of the brainchild as far as everything goes on the design side. Like, I kind of come in and I have a base platform of what people may or may not need. And then Bender perfects it, and we kind of meet in the middle on the final design, because we call it Bender it. He'll Bender it, meaning he makes it super crazy, cool, but also complex and very expensive. And then we kind of meet in the middle. So, and he's a great designer, and I'm super happy to have him here. The Tut came out, which sales on that have gone even better than we thought. We got a little bit of hate on it because we live in the United States, and that's just what we all do here. But the basic idea of that Tut, because people are like, oh, it won't handle the wind as well, or whatever, kind of back and forth between the Sawtooth. But I try to post photos of it. The base idea is it only takes 4 stakes to get it erected or stood up. It's super quick. It has kind of vertical walls. The way that we place the door and the stovepipe, it's pretty much like a mansion for 2 people. It's a giant mansion for 1. But the bear hunt, Frank had his own, and then Colt and I stayed in the other one with stove and wood. And guys said, hey, seems like you could roll over into the stove the way that you're sleeping or whatever. But I don't think they realized you can move the stove. That was just the specific position we had chose to sleep. You can position yourself around, move the stove around. Anyway, it's been great for us, and something we haven't offered. We're also growing at an extreme rapid pace. It's hard to keep the train on the track sometimes, so to speak. Like, I feel for those listening that have called me entertaining different partnerships, and I hate to say no to some companies, but for example, ProMotive, which is some industry-wide, industry professionals get on there and get discounts. And mathematically, for me, we can barely keep in stock stuff at full price. I would much rather give sales occasionally to companies. I guess what I'm getting at is, when you can hardly keep stuff in stock, it's hard for me to do these huge partnership sales things, because it's pretty counterproductive for long-term business, because right now we can barely get it out the door. We just had to go back up another week in delivery time. We just try to do our best with customer service. I'm on the phone all the time. We try to listen to what people want, and we are listening. So I can't talk about too much, because then I'll get blown up in email and text on what we might be coming out with. But we are working on some new fabrics. It's kind of the cool thing for me. I've been getting to test. Other than that, that's it. I can't really talk about anything else on the Kafaro side of things. We appreciate your business. You guys are all great. Super appreciate the support. We get phone calls every day mentioning the Gritty Bowman, so we appreciate it.
It's awesome. So with that, Aaron, you've got some gear that is kind of overlooked or we don't talk about very often, but is like kind of special stuff that you like to cart around. So with that, what's number one?
I won't do these in order of importance because that's per person. I'll just do them when I remember them. But one of the things that's recent, which I have with me, is a dark energy charger. Now, I had been using a Nutrient and an Anchor, and then it's kind of a funny story. Anchor, not like the boat. I was at the Western Hunt Expo, and I just went and I bought 2 of these. And somewhere in the midst of the conversation, the guy was like, "You're that guy. We keep hearing about you." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And guys had told him about me testing the product. And of course, me being a smart aleck, I'm like, "Can I have my money back?" And then just give them to me, But I paid for them. I think they put me on their staff. They asked me to be on their staff, which is a product I liked. The thing is it is just a charger. Okay. It charges a piece of equipment. It is more durable, from everything I've found in the Nutrient and the Anchor. The cord is kind of cool. It is wrapped in 550 cord, so it makes it harder to break. I go back and forth bringing this. It is obviously heavier than my normal cord. It is more durable. So it just depends on what I'm doing. Sometimes I'll use a standard cord. Sometimes I'll use this one. But it's been great. And I kind of went to the extreme. I threw it in the freezer, checking it out, see how much it lost its charge, how waterproof it was. I threw it in the bathtub. I haven't broke it yet. I've got 2 of them. It's been great. I get about 3.5 charges on my big Droid. You can also charge up GoPros, my inReach. I've charged my Delorme inReach up. So anyway, dark energy charger. Check these guys out. And they're supporting hunting, which you are not going to get with Nutrient and Anchor. And the customer service with Nutrient and Anchor can leave little to be desired if you do not speak Japanese, Chinese.
I've owned 3 Anchor chargers, and all 3 of them don't work.
They have a short shelf life.
They really I only got to use them. One lasted quite a while, but one of them I returned right off the bat and got a new one. But I had 2 of them. I took them, and we actually talked about them, I think, in some earlier podcasts, and I liked them when they worked. The problem is, the last time I used them, both chargers crapped out. Now they won't hold a charge at all. And so I haven't even had those a year, probably used them on like 3 or 4, like for a total of 2 weeks on some hunting trips. So not happy with the Anchor. So yeah. I talked to you about the Nutrient a few months ago and was, looking through that. And then I've seen the dark energy. So I was curious about that. So it looks like, from your experience, it hasn't broke yet.
No, it hasn't. And I was talking to them about making a bigger one, and they were talking about making a smaller one. For me, just because from charging everything, sometimes
camera batteries, dude. The thing with the Anchor that I liked is it was, X size, but the thing it'll charge just a huge battery.
I don't know, I charged my cell phone like 10 or 12 times or something. That's what I packed in last year, actually, with me and Colton's on.
But seriously, I have no idea why, but it just quit working. All 3 of them.
Throw it in a bowl of rice.
Dude, didn't even get wet. It was dry as a bone. I don't know what happened.
It's an inside joke, which I can't talk about or I'll get myself in trouble. So the next thing after after the dark energy, don't buy Nutrient or Anchor because they don't support hunting and they suck. Buy a dark energy. Is the Delorme inReach. That's something I've just started using in the last few months. It's a communication device. It links up Bluetooth to your phone, so you can text through your phone. You can talk to text with your cell phone. It'll send 150 characters in one text, and it uses satellites from Iridium. So you you get signal, you get the text messages out. In the case of the question between Delorme inReach and sat phone, the reason why I've been bringing the Delorme is I have cell service sporadically for everywhere I go, and I usually know where I have it. So in the case if I'm in a valley, I can at least send a text out, and if I need to make a phone call somewhere throughout the course of the day, I'll have service. I can make a phone call. Not as sure-footed as something like a sat phone, but that inReach is pretty amazing. And I think I get a monthly bill of $40 a month. I have unlimited text. When I was in the ground blind for 14 hours on the bear hunt, I was using texting like crazy to keep myself sane. So it's been great. I put my phone on battery saver mode. The inReach has an insane battery life. Thing seems to last forever. Make sure and don't give away your hunting spot. Turn off the location portion of the inReach. You must do that on the computer. You can't do it out on the device. And you have to download an app for your phone to text through the inReach as well. But that's something to look at.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're hunting in Idaho now.
Oh, I know. Colton, being the most paranoid man I've ever met, is constantly worried about me texting on the old Earthmate Delorme inReach. We're going to give a spot away. So
tell me, what's the difference then? When do you pack a sat phone, and what sat phone do you like?
So I use the old school 9505, which is like the pimp 80 style giant cell phone. It's got the detachable antenna you plug into the back. I had a 9555 and I broke it. So I went to it's got the word extreme on it. So it has to be better than 9575 extreme. And I broke that one too. So I sent that back. I deal with Explorer satellites out of Florida. It's the company I use, and I got a hold of the guy down there, and he swapped me the 9575 out for 9505, the old school model. Mm-hmm. I just buy 500 minutes for the year, and the pros and cons, the minutes are the problem. If you run out of the minutes or you run out of time, the year contract, and you still have minutes, you have to pay like $45 a month to keep your minutes going. All in all, a sat phone for most people is going to be a safer bet. But if you just need a way to communicate, you don't mind not talking to someone, you just need to send texts out occasionally, you're not trying to run a business or anything, the inReach is really good. If you were trying to run a business, your wife just needs to hear your loving voice, you want to get a sat phone. Again, I've had great luck with Explorer satellite services out of Florida.
Okay.
So down and dirty, because we're trying to wrap this thing up in a record time of 25 minutes. The next one, the Arc'teryx kneecaps, those knee pads that I wear. Jokes aside, it's just whether I'm deboning or cutting up an animal or, on my, dropping down, whatever, onto my knees, rocks. They are loud. They have a hard cover. So if you're in gravel trying to walk up on your knees, it's going to be loud. They don't weigh very much. I wear them almost throughout the entire hunting season. You get used to them. They don't sag down. They stay in place. They're expensive. I think they're $69, $89. That one set I've had though for ever. I mean, my black set I used to wear, I gave to my buddy. He's still using them. That brown set I've had 3 years, and they're still good as new. So they're Arc'teryx kneecaps.
Okay.
So the next one, and I don't know exactly how to pronounce this, but I'm going to do a couple. We've talked about it before. Sugru. It's this silly putty looking stuff for kind of a repair kit. It's I should have been more prepared. Sugru. You basically have this silly putty. You can form it to fix a tent pole. You can form it to do just about anything for repair. Mm-hmm. It's been super handy. You can fix just about anything. You can put a handle on something that doesn't have a handle. So it's Sugru. Great to have even just in your vehicle, just in case. You can patch holes with it, all kinds of stuff. Tenacious tape from Gear Aid. There's 95 different types. It seems like a tenacious tape. It's confusing, but they have Gore-Tex patches, a ton of different Cordura patches. But the tenacious tape from Gear Aid is pretty cool, and something I think people should have in their pack. One of the other things that I've had pretty good success with, we've talked a bunch. I don't know how many we've sold for Primus, but those Micron Lanterns have been pretty epic. We didn't bring one on this last trip, but that Micron Lantern from Primus is sometimes worth it. It is nice. It heats up a tent. Don't do that because you can die of carbon monoxide poisoning. But if you are going to need light and heat, it does work well for your tent. Other than that, those are just some small ones that I've been like noteworthy of late that people have asked about. I don't know that I have anything else. We could probably cover this every now and then for questions we get. We've been getting a lot of questions about footwear specifically. We've been trying crispy boots. I got a set of Nevadas. I don't know if you got Nevadas or.
I did. I got Nevadas.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think we may, a few twists and turns aside, I'm trying to get one of their mountaineering boots because I'm not an all leather boot fan. Some guys are. They're it's just not. I like a stiffer boot, so we're getting me some mountaineering boots. We've been screwing around with those some. They've been good. I know you've got feet of a Native American,
Dude,
so
I've been wearing them everywhere, and I think they're awesome. I mean, I went to the beach this weekend with the family. We went hiking and climbing, and I've been wearing them 24/7. And so, you know me, I haven't worn a lot of like stiffer boots or high end boots, right? So for years, I mean, I've gone pretty minimalist when it comes to footwear. And you start wearing those boots, and I can see how you can get addicted to wearing something like that because your feet literally don't get any fatigue whatsoever. It's like
the ones I wear, they don't flex.
You can just climb and climb and go. And typically when I wore a boot and I just stood still or hiked a lot, my feet would get tired, especially in a stiff boot. They would get tired or they'd get sore. I didn't get that at all. I wore those things all day, every day, hiking for a few miles so far, just testing them out because I didn't know if I wanted to go with crispy or not. I dig them. I really do. So
no, that's good. Well, and talking about crispy boots, some of the other things that people have asked me about lately, and we need to do a better job about is thanking the people that are supporting the Gritty Bowman. Going through kind of a list of the people supporting us. And Brian, I don't know, you want to list them off or do you want me to list them off?
You better do it.
Okay. So Cafaro International obviously is a supporter of the Gritty Bowman. Hoyt USA, the bow company, they've been cool to deal with. Obviously, I'm shooting the Hoyt Buffalo. I just got the new, I had been shooting the Buffalo with Carbon Quattro foam core limbs. They sent me a set of the Carbon Quattro wood core limbs, so I screwed around with that last night, seeing which I like better. But Hoyt USA.
I just got the Defiant 34. Yep. So getting that all dialed in and shooting it, and it's pretty sweet.
Well, yeah, no, it's in fact, it made me want to shoot a compounding.
I'm like, the other thing too is it's 80 pounds, which I haven't had a 80-pound bow in a while, but it feels pretty cool.
No, that's good. So Hoyt USA, make sure go buy stuff from Hoyt, show them support because they supported us, and then Black Eagle arrows, Randy with Black Eagle, and that was a big switch for me because I've been shooting gold tips forever, right? So I was a little bit, I don't know about nervous because I'd heard so much good stuff about him, but it was funny talking to Randy because he's like the coolest guy in the world for one. And then I'm like, well, here's what I'm doing. And, talk for a few minutes. And it was funny because it was like late, right? When I called him or when he called me, he's like, well, I'll just ship them out tonight. Hurry up, give me your address. And I was like, no, dude, I'm good. And he's like, no, I want to get these out the door. I'm excited to see what you think. And you don't get that very often. I mean, we do it because you can call me anytime, but it's like 6 o'clock at night. And he's like, I think I can get him out the door or whatever time it was. So he was cool. So I'm going to shoot some of the traditional shafts. When I say traditional, wood grain, they're called vintage, but
Yep.
The wood grain shafts. And then I may try some of the Rampage or the Carnivores as well. Just got to see what flies the best out of the bow. So Black Eagle arrows. Ask Corey Miller. They're the greatest arrow in the world. Corey will tell you. In fact, even when you don't want to hear it, he will tell you. He is a huge, huge fan of Black Eagle arrows.
Yeah.
So Vortex Optics, they're another sponsor or another supporter. Vortex, they've been super cool to Kafaru, like forever. They've always, ran Kafaru packs. Mark Boardman, specifically, he and I have been friends for quite some time. And the cool thing with Vortex, in the sense of supporting the podcast, was they were kind of immediate, I guess. Like they jumped on board fairly quickly. And I've used Vortex off and on for years. You've used them quite a bit as well. They've got some. I already knew about all their other products. They've got one coming up that I don't know that I can talk about, so I'm not going to. But they have one coming up that should be in my hands pretty soon that I'm super pumped about, because it was something that I felt was deficient in their line that I thought that they could potentially improve on, and it's something that they did. So I'm excited to use that. So Vortex Optics has supported us. We also have, First Light Camo. First Light is a supporter of us, Kenton and Ryan Callahan. We're going hunting actually with Ryan in Canada. I hope he has the porn stash in full effect. I love the stash. But First Light's been great. And I talk to Kenton once a week, twice a week about traditional archery and everything else, known to man. One of the other supporters, we already just Triple X Archery, Corey Miller. Swing by and see him. Phelps, I like to call Phelps Switzerland, but Phelps Game Calls. If you don't know Jason Phelps, he is called Switzerland because he is neutral as can be on just about everything. I don't know how someone could dislike Jason Phelps. He is not an instigator. He's just neutral, nor does he like to stir the pot, other than with his friends. He makes a great line of calls. I use his giant mammoth bugle. It's right beside me. I can defend my life if a bear attacks me with it. I also can call a bull in. So it's great for backpack hunting because it serves two purposes.
Yep.
Brian, you want to mention any of the other ones?
Yeah. Kendall Card with Camel Fire and Black Ovis. He's also with Crispy, and we've been friends with Kendall for a long time. And basically since I started the podcast, but I've been
even after he copied my game bags.
that's
Kendall,
right.
I hope you're listening.
And so Kendall is one of those folks that we're going to partner with as well. We haven't kind of worked things out yet, but definitely go in there because they just have he's got a lot of cool stuff. So, and I would say tag bags, Pristine Adventures.
Yep. Pristine.
Yep. So
I just talked to Larry this morning. I woke his ass up like 5:30 Alaska time.
Which the bags were awesome. We used them last year. He had to do a recall on some of them, and that was not pleasant. But he's a man of his word and got all those things replaced for all those bags. And I just want to say, for all the partners and all the supporters that have come to the Gritty Bowman, Aron and I, we didn't make any of those decisions lightly, and we took a long time in working with different groups, and we just basically went with those companies that have products that we believe in, have been using for a while, for a long time, and that had people in them that we value, that stand behind them, that we are good friends with. These aren't just people that we're acquaintances with. We know these people.
Well, and I think one of the things, like I've gotten a couple hate mail emails about Vortex, because I've used Zeiss, Vortex, Swarovski frequently. In the last couple of years, I've used Swarovski and Vortex off and on. That one guy said something about a sellout, basically. And the one thing that allow me to retort is Vortex has always supported Kafaru in a very high level, which is cool. They were in their catalog, and I kind of helped set up the photo shoot for that. When they come out here, it's a great time. But more importantly, they chose to support the Gritty Bowman without question, and this was when I wasn't part of it other than just talking every now and then. You were getting going, and they wanted to be part of it, which was cool. That's not to say that whose optic is better or whatever else. Obviously, if you compare a Vortex and a Swarovski, high-end binocular is going to be better. It's more money, but Vortex is a great optic. It's probably the best for the money, and they chose to support us. So without reading into it and trying to stir up crap, Vortex has been very supportive of the Gritty Bowman. And as far as camo, that was another one. We had, you had a lot of different options on camo. Kendall's just a great guy to deal with. I mean, he's just funny. Same with Ryan, along with all the other companies. It's been
it's important. It's
a pleasure to deal with them.
It's important to me that also that they that whoever we work with gets us. Like how we want to run it, and doesn't. With each of these partners, some of the other companies that we spoke to wanted us to do a flat out commercial in each podcast, or some heavier forms of advertisement for having them support the show. And basically all the partners that we got that have stood by us have been like, hey, we're gonna let you guys do what you do, and we're just gonna support that. And that allows Aron and I to use, to be try to be as independent and creative as possible and as unbiased as possible as we. But that's a tricky part, right? Like having supporters and then giving honest feedback when it comes to certain gear. And so we've tried to keep that list of supporters small, and also work out agreements with them where they're okay that we talk about other products and with other companies, because that's kind of part of what we do. Yeah.
Oh, and Rocky Mountain Specialty Gear, we just signed up to use the Cutthroat broadhead that they own and manufacture. Well, they don't manufacture it; they have it outsourced, but it's made in the USA. But it's their design. I'm going to shoot, obviously, the Cutthroat this year, 250 grain. I think we're going to set up your bow to try to shoot 150s up front, especially with the 80-pound Hoyt. So Cutthroat broadheads, check those out. Rocky Mountain Specialty Gear. That just happened in the last couple days.
Yep.
We're hoping some of these other companies, it is unique, and I think we need to wrap this up fairly quickly, but I can say on a personal standpoint, as well as speak for Brian and the Gritty Bowman, it is not easy turning down thousands of dollars for the greater good of the Gritty Bowman. And I mean that, I'm saying if a company has approached Brian, and many companies have, that may be a lesser product that has a greater marketing campaign, it is difficult to turn down all that money. And Brian has done that. And when I say money, I'm talking $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year he's turned down from potential sponsors of a company or product he just didn't believe in, or they wanted to turn the Gritty Bowman into a commercial. And Brian's done great. And he doesn't ever talk about it, so I'm talking about it for him. He's turned down a lot of money, so show your support to the Gritty Bowman as much as you can. If hats are in stock, you need to buy them.
It's one thing I've realized is I'm not much of an apparel salesman. But
good at the design.
I have some cool designs. In fact, the Carbon in the Air t-shirt and the Snyderisms t-shirt, they're both super cool. We actually got orders of them a couple weeks back, and they came. I don't know, there was a miscommunication, and so the colors and the printing and the t-shirts were all wrong, so we had to reorder. So, but you know what, like I said, it's not really a strength, but for those of you who don't know, my last day at my day job is this Friday, so I'm committing to Gritty Bowman full time. And I'm expecting to have that all that time that I spend, 40 hours a week at the day job, I'll be able to start putting into Gritty Bowman. So I'm pretty excited about what we'll be able to do. And hopefully,
I may have exaggerated the 40 hours a week at the real job. It may have been slightly less than that.
hey, come on. But yeah, I've waned a little in the last few months as Gritty Bowman has grown. But hats and T-shirts and things like that, I'm excited to get a bunch of new designs. I look at other guys like Tim Burnett's good friend. I love Tim's hats. I'm always wearing his stuff. I like some of his solo hunter stuff, and I'm like, it's an area of Gritty Bowman I'd like to improve greatly. Same with Mountain Ops. They've always got some cool hats and T-shirts.
We forgot Mountain Ops.
How could we forget Mountain Ops?
Probably because we talk to him so much that we just, it's kind of, when I introduce my wife and I forget to say her name, I think, hey, this is my wife. I guess her name. Go ahead. Mountain Ops is another supporter of the Gritty Bowman podcast.
By the way, Mountain Ops was the first supporter of the Gritty Bowman podcast and was on board in a big way from the very start and has been the whole time. In fact, I mean, let's not sugarcoat it. I mean, without us working together, especially the opportunities to go and hang out with them in Louisville at the ATA, it really helped me meet and shake hands with a lot of people in the industry, including some of the partners we work with now. We met through those relationships. So grateful for Mountain Ops and all that they're doing to help us.
Well, I think it's important, like the future or what of the Gritty Bowman, the direction, the path. Well, obviously, we talk all the time about it. I mean, one of the things you're wanting to do is not come out here just to get me on film, but get informational and fun, videos on film in the wild.
Yeah.
And I'm usually the chucklehead with the camera in my hand taking photos. I'm not much of a videographer, but to go on some of these backcountry fishing trips, scouting trips, hunting trips, whatever the case may be, and get them on video for you guys to kind of tag along with Brian, myself, maybe Colton, Frank the Tank, whatever the case may be, because some of these hunts that we go on are pretty epic hunts, and it's hard to experience it fully without photos and video. When you get both, some of them you can,
Well, for sure, I've got a lot of film sitting on my hard drive that I haven't really had time to edit of some great hunts. So I've got like 3 half-finished films that one. My Prince of Wales bear hunt was awesome. My elk hunt last year with Anthony and Ben is awesome. Got great video from that. I have an Arizona elk hunt. All of that stuff I got on film, but I haven't produced anything yet just because time constraints. So hopefully with kind of the change in how things are going, we'll have time to produce some of that, but also getting to Colorado, just being able to like get tips and tricks. Like I'm always asking Aron on the phone, or we're talking. I'm like, okay, Aron, how do I set this up? Or what do I do here? Or how do I shoot? And so being down there and around Aron, I can record that and just publish it at the same time.
It's great because we got Phil at No Limits, the compound Hoyt expert. We've got Rocky Mountain Specialty Gear, the traditional expert, the Messiah, Tom Klum, right? We have Red Rocks and Green Mountain, the Tower Trail, all the different training, and then, the mountains and all the trips that we go on. The one thing, too, is I'm kind of limited to going with buddies to the weekends because they have real jobs where my schedule is flexible. So Brian and I can go midweek with his new schedule and get some good informational stuff, whether it be Kafaru Vortex, First Light, talk about camo, but also just talk about general field craft and hunting stuff with what we do on the backpack hunting side of things.
Yep. The other part that people should know about is Aron Snyder Photography. We've got this whole store built. We've got we pretty much haven't unveiled it yet, but it's pretty epic, Aron. You got some amazing photography skills. You captured some incredible stuff. You've never really got it out there for print for people. And Katie, my sister, she's been working on it with Aron for a month to 2 months, really going hard on it the last month. And we got a killer little shop for people to go on, and you can buy a 20 by 72 inch wide angle print of some epic stuff. And I love like the wildlife ones, some with the deer in the snow, all the shelter, the night photos. You got some killer stuff. And so I'm really excited to launch that. And that should come out. I don't know. We were going to try to do it last week, but we ran into it's not so easy setting up all this internet based stuff and coordinating the shipping and the sale and the printing and all of that kind of stuff. So, but we're almost there. We truly are so close. And I'm really excited to launch that because, I just want to own a bunch of it in my own house.
Well, and remember, Katie and Bryce have 5 kids, so don't buy one, buy 2, because this also supports Katie Call.
Yep. That's one thing that's cool is as we work together on all this stuff with Gritty Bowman, we're finding ways to keep Aron supported, keep me, keep Katie, keep us all kind of
making it worth our while.
Yeah. And it's cool. It's working out, and I'm excited to see where it goes here in the future. So anyway, that's kind of Gritty Bowman in a nutshell, I guess. Update.
Yeah. Well, when you get out here, it should be interesting. I'm sure there will be. Not only will they have me with the camera, they'll have you with the video camera, all the guys to deal with. But I'm looking forward to it for sure.
I need to get I'm ready for a new camera. I'm ready to step up to one of those Sonys or the Panasonic or something.
Yeah.
It's time.
It'll be good.
All right, dude. Thanks again. I'll talk to you later, man.
All right.
Stay gritty. Okay, gritty friends. I hope you enjoyed that podcast. If you did, please take a moment to leave us a review on iTunes, Podbean, or Stitcher. We love reading your reviews. And connect with us on social media if you're on there. Look us up on Facebook and Instagram, and take a moment to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can receive notifications when we upload new videos. We've got a sweet deal with Mountain Ops. You get 20% off on all Mountain Ops supplements, combo packs, and apparel when you type in the word gritty at checkout. If you're a hardcore elk hunter, or you want to be, go to the Elk 101 website online and check them out. Our friend Corey Jacobson is killing it with some of the best elk hunting information and entertainment on the web. If you haven't heard, we're doing a huge gear giveaway to try and grow and expand the gritty community on Facebook and Instagram. I asked a bunch of friends to pitch in on this gear giveaway, and they all came through with some awesome stuff. Our friends at Kafaru, Rockslide, First Light, Phelps Game Calls, One Shot Gear, Mountain Ops, Triple X Archery, Blacktail Outdoors, and Is It September Yet are pitching in some sweet gear for the giveaway. We'll announce all the details in the next few weeks. All you have to do to be entered to win is like our Gritty Bowman Facebook page and follow us on Instagram. All right, friends, let me leave you with one other quote from Theodore Roosevelt, who said, "It behooves every man to remember that the work of the critic is of altogether secondary importance, and that, in the end, progress is accomplished by the man who does things." We all have a choice. We can be people who do things or people who criticize the work of others. It's pretty simple, really. Get out there and do your thing. Good luck on your hunts, and stay gritty.
This is Ty Stubblefield, and you're listening to the Gritty Bowman.
Gritty Bowman.